Good afternoon, fans of box lacrosse, and welcome inside the PSM Ice House as the Grand Rapids Grizzlies are in town taking on the home team, Fort Wayne Rivermen. My name is Desmond Thomas. Thank you for tuning in on North American Talk Radio's YouTube channel. So the Fort Wayne Rivermen, fresh off their first win of the season, an overall dominant game against the Dayton Bombers where they got the lead early and never really seemed to look back. 17-12, the final score. Have had about an hour and a half to reset and rest for this cross-league clash against the Grand Rapids Grizzlies out of the North American Box Lacrosse League, who wrapped up their first game of the day and the season only about half an hour ago against the Dayton Bombers, who were fresh off a loss against these Rivermen and on back-to-back games. Not sure of the outcome of that Grizzlies and Dayton Bombers game. The NABLL website hasn't updated the score just yet, but I'm sure in a couple days we'll get to know who ended victorious in that contest, but all eyes on this one right now. So some keys to watch for the Fort Wayne Rivermen. You have to use your legs. You've got 25 players listed on your active roster. You can dress 17 runners, 2 goalies, but with John Belote in net, no need for anybody else to fill the pipes. So you've got John Belote, you've got 17 runners. Grand Rapids only have 15 players and 12 with actual numbers listed on the roster, so that might be a little wrinkle for later on, and 1 goalie on their active roster in Brett Fairley. So as was the case in the Rivermen's game against the Dayton Bombers, run them. You have to run them. Those 2 words need to be at the forefront of every single Rivermen player's mind. This is an excellent chance to claim their first ever victory against the Grand Rapids Grizzlies. Some score lines from previous meetings: 23-3, a loss in 2025, 31-2, a loss in 2024, and a 28-4 loss in 2024 as well. So some lopsided score lines between these 2 teams in years past, but a chance for the Fort Wayne Rivermen to try to flip the script and gain their second win of the season and put a 2 up in the win column. The Rivermen were excellent in transition in that game against the Dayton Bombers just now 4 hours ago. And 4 times, if not more, the Rivermen got breakaway passes in transition and scored against the Dayton Bombers. They took their foot off the gas a little bit near the end of the second quarter and at times in the third quarter. And at one point of the game, the spread was only 1 goal between the 2 teams. So against this Grizzlies team that knows that they can beat the Fort Wayne Rivermen as they have in years past, it's going to have to be a full 60-minute effort for the Fort Wayne Rivermen as they take on the Grand Rapids Grizzlies out of the North American Box Lacrosse League. And out of the face-off, it'll be Michael DeCaro. And we're underway from Fort Wayne, Indiana. And quickly, here come the Grizzlies. Matuzak dishes off. And it's back with LaRock. Pardon me, that's Ryan Whitney. Now on the left side. Apologies for some audio issues at the moment. We're trying to get that sorted out. Bear with us, folks. And that low shot is fended off by the goaltender, John Belote. And the Rivermen back with it here on the left side. Here's A.J. Warner with it here. Lays it off. Brent Nichter, a couple of goals in the clash against Dayton a few hours ago. Nichter fires that shot, and that's cast aside by Brett Fairley. Back up the near side. Here's Magnus Salmon out of Michigan. Held at the top of the zone. And that shot scores. What a ripper. From the top of the attacking zone for the Grand Rapids Grizzlies. They rattle the cage, and it's an early 1-0 lead. So Fort Wayne, they scored first against the Dayton Bombers in their 12 p.m. clash. Grand Rapids draws first blood here at the PSM Ice House. Heavy hit. Matuzak levels a player. And back on it here are the Fort Wayne Rivermen. Connor Bolton. Now on that far side, trying to dash in, finds a lane. As that's Kepner. He couldn't keep it though, and a battle for a loose ball in the middle of the court. And it's picked back up by the Grizzlies. Swung to the near side, here's Salmon. The Grizzlies up by 1-0 off that 6 snipe right in front of the net. And now Ryan Whitney again. And a play to drive the lane, and that's fought off by John Belote. And in the left corner now. Here come the Rivermen, back in transition. Pass to the left side wall. Here's J.D. Reyes. Set up so much offense for the Fort Wayne Rivermen in their game against the Dayton Bombers. Aiden Lane dishes off. Here comes Eric Peel. Sharp angle, and that finds the far side of the court. And the Grand Rapids Grizzlies will come back with that ball over the halfway line. Here's Ryan Whitney out of Clinton Township, Michigan. Magnus Salmon plays that ball up top. Pat McKay. McKay will rip that shot, goes off a shoulder, and a wild rebound bounces into a dangerous area. But the Fort Wayne Rivermen able to hold the fort. Getting worked over is Natusko, but he lays it up the near side. Our mystery man, number 12 on the Fort Wayne Rivermen. Not listed on any roster that I've received or anybody at NATR has received. And now trying to step into a shot. That was Aiden Lane, and that was fought off by Brett Farrelly. Lane has it back. Pitch and catch with Kyle Gehring. And Lane now. Worked over, and that shot from the far side is cast aside again by Farrelly. A lot of work for him early on in this game. Up the near side of the floor. The Grand Rapids Grizzlies again. McKay, Whitney. Bounce pass to the late man arriving. And the Grizzlies looking to add some cushion. And that weak shot is off the pad of John Belote. And behind the net, what a chance in front. And Belote able to squeeze that left arm and keep the ball out, knocks it to the corner. Now quickly up the near side. Here's Burton. Burton tries to walk in and fire a shot. And it goes in. I thought Brett Farrelly was able to get down and knock that to the corner, but on the breakaway, Adam Burton ties the game at 1. And that was exactly the play that the Fort Wayne Rivermen needed and executed so well in their noon game against Dayton. Those breakaway passes leading to goals and clinical finishes. Now back come the Grizzlies on the far side. Prinz was parked in front of the net, but it's taken back by Barney. Up the near side. Sapansky, he'll head off. And Mason Barney now. 2 goals in the 12 p.m. contest against the Bombers. Plays pitch and catch and gets it right back on the left side. Barney steps in, fires, and that was stopped by Farrelly. The rebound spilled to the near side boards, and Barney hard hit into the near side corner. Gets right back up and now has to track back on defense. Here's Connor Sullivan. Trying to fend off his mark as the Grizzlies have it back and are looking for a go-ahead goal as Salmon fires a shot and scores. Salmon walking right in and gets the lead back for the Grand Rapids Grizzlies. So just as quickly as Fort Wayne was able to tie the game, Salmon comes right back and tries to find another one. And this time, did that ball go in as well? I don't believe so. Hard to tell without the audio. Sorry about that, folks. That might have gone in as well. It's a bit tough to see. And I think it's 3-1 now for the Grand Rapids Grizzlies. And that might have been Magnus Salmon in transition again. Could be his second of the game. And it's a 3-1 lead for Grand Rapids. Back with the ball is Fort Wayne. Reyes on the floor, fires a shot that was kicked out by Brett Farrelly, doing excellent work in the crease for his side. Here's Salmon. Now dish to the far corner. Pat McKay on the court right now. And they score again. Out of nowhere, that shot ripped through, and John Belote unable to knock that down, and it's 4-1 for Grand Rapids. So as Adam Burton was able to tie the game at 1, and we've got some audio back in the building. Thank you to the camera operator for seeing our message, and you'll get to hear some sounds of the game now as the Grand Rapids Grizzlies right back at it, trying to add a 5th goal before the first quarter expires. Burton with it here for the Rivermen. Lays it off to Mason Barney. They need a goal from him. Mason Barney gets away from one challenge. Barney, sharp angle, plays it in front of net. And that attempted shot from David Kepner is stopped again by Farrelly. Five minutes to go in the first quarter. Grand Rapids leads 4-1 over Fort Wayne, and now trying to drive the lane and add a 5th goal are the Grizzlies, but well defended by the Rivermen. Up in transition now. Here's our mystery man, number 12, for the Rivermen, and he'll lay that off to the far side. Here's Kyle Gehring, the manager and coach and veteran presence. And that shot is whipped dangerously wide by Connor Bolton, and it will ricochet all the way back down inside the Rivermen zone. So possession will go to the Grand Rapids Grizzlies, and they'll get the offensive set. It's turned over though, and picked up by the Rivermen. Up the near side. Quickly back on the attack are the Grizzlies out of the near side corner. Pat McKay. He's watched very closely, as is Sam Schaefer. And on the near side, that shot scores, 5-hole, and that's Magnus Salmon again. and it's 5-1 for Grand Rapids. And things unraveling here for Fort Wayne, who had once tied the game at 1 goal apiece, and then 4 unanswered from the Grand Rapids Grizzlies. And Magnus Salmon putting on a clinic. And off the center floor face-off, it's right back to the attack for the Grizzlies. Here's Alspaugh. Now Prinz on the floor. Some good defending from J.D. Reyes. And now a dangerous looking shot gets whistled wide, and it will ricochet right in front of the net, and Belote able to get his shoulder up on that and steer that away. And now a home run pass will not work out, and the ball will stay in the attacking zone for the Grizzlies. Walking right in with a shot is off as Magnus Salmon was looking for more. McKay. Alspaugh. Watched at the top, and that low shot. And that second opportunity goes off the side of the net. Sam Schaefer had to go. Fort Wayne back in it, and back with the ball at half. Here's Eric Peel. Got the scoring started in the 12 p.m. game for the Rivermen, and now lays it off. From Kyle Gehring, and now Peel again trying to drive in behind the net, looking to dish that out front, but his pass evades the sticks of everybody on his team, and it will float back inside the Rivermen zone. That whistle will halt play Eric Peel. He got the scoring started against Dayton. I think he had a power play marker as well, and that was the hat-trick goal. They could use some of that scoring prowess from him, but now the Grizzlies back on the attack, and that weak bounce shot is steered to the corner by Belote. Picked up off the wall. Walking right into a shot was Ryan Whitney. Grizzly down in the far corner, worked over by 3 Rivermen. Steve Sapansky, one of those. And full line changes for both sides. And the Rivermen on the press. Here comes Simon Watson on that far side. Has Lane with him. And a spin move by Barney. Finds Lane, whips a shot. And that was stopped by the goaltender Farrelly. And the ball bounces all the way back into the corner, and well out of his net is John Belote, and having to do some defending as the first quarter comes to an end. A hefty lead for the Grand Rapids Grizzlies over the Fort Wayne Rivermen. We'll step aside for about 2 minutes. Stay tuned here on North American Talk Radio's YouTube channel.
You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Welcome back inside the PSM Ice House in Fort Wayne, Indiana. The Fort Wayne Rivermen are looking to make it 2-0 on the day and get 2 in the win column, but they're down by 4 goals right now to the Grand Rapids Grizzlies, who have had their number in years past. They have had some lopsided scorelines. Fort Wayne has been able to put a fair amount of goals on the board in their last 3 games of the season, and specifically in the game they played about 4 hours ago, a 17-12 win against the Dayton Bombers, and they're going to need some of that scoring prowess here. Of course, kick-started all by Mason Barney, but the lone goal in the game for Fort Wayne comes from Adam Burton, and it was a home run pass on the breakaway that he connected with. And on the other side for the Grizzlies, it has been the Magnus Salmon show.
Yes.
Undetermined if he has been the player to score all goals, but he at least has 3 by my count so far, as we're back underway in the second quarter. Here's Zayden Lane. Fires that through, home run pass again, and Mason Barney scores. And that's exactly the same play that we were talking about for Adam Burton, and Mason Barney right in front of the net. Nobody covering him. Beats Brett Farrelly, and it's 5-2. So Mason Barney's 3rd goal of the day, first of this game. And now the deficit cut to 3 off the faceoff. Here's Michael DeCaro. Turned over though, as it's moved back up by the Grizzlies. That errant pass will float to the corner, and in behind the net, Steve Sapansky will fight for it. Loose ball in front of John Belote. Trying to pick that up was DeCaro, and it's brought back in. Salmon shoots, and that's fought off by Belote. Line changes for both sides as it will be moved up the near wing. Here's A.J. Warner. Warner. Now Simon Watson. Back to Sullivan. And on that far side, a couple spin moves and a sharp angle shot that's fought off but spilled a bit by Brett Farrelly. And moved up the near side. Here's Matuzak. Matuzak looking to fire a home run pass himself. Thought better of it. Huge whack that he had to get out of the way from. Simon Watson on defense. I believe that was Casper Turner going down and falling through the crease. Ryan Whitney able to bank that past John Belote, and it's 6-2. So Ryan Whitney expanding the lead back to 4 goals. And again, the Fort Wayne Rivermen losing some momentum after gaining some ground themselves. But Brett Farrelly is proving to be a hard man to beat as the Grizzlies are back in on the attack. Dish down low, nice stutter step to the inside, and trying to go over the top, they score! What a goal! Dipsy doodling his way to the crease and then jumping over the shoulder of John Belote. And it's 7-3 now for the Grizzlies.
They're actually somewhere outside.
And right back off that face-off. Here come the Grizzlies again, diving through the crease, and they score. It's just a scoring fest right now for the Grizzlies. They're having their way with the Rivermen, and it's 8-2. And that seemed to come at absolutely no effort other than the Bobby Orr-esque dive through the crease, but the Rivermen nowhere to be found on defense. And you see from that shot there the discrepancy of how many players and subs that the Grizzlies have on the left and how many players. It's a packed bench for the Fort Wayne Rivermen. But still, with the fewer of the players in the game, the Grizzlies are having their way with the Rivermen. That shot by Gehring is fought off by Brett Farrelly. Another dandy of a save from him. And a 4-man scrum in the corner. It'll be picked up by the Grand Rapid Grizzlies. Long lead pass and a stutter step around Gehring, and now waiting for reinforcements to arrive. Out of that front door, McKay. Pat McKay out of South Lyon, Michigan. Now trying to gain some ground. Forced out of the zone. Some heavy defending from Adam Burton as he bowls over Connor Adams. But still, the Grizzlies in possession of the ball. Connor Adams on the near side. Stick gets knocked out of the hands of one of the Grizzlies players. And J.D. Reyes will pick that ball up and move up the near side. Reyes flips that over the top. On the left wing now. Watson was parked in front. Now he moves to the right flank. Played up top to Connor Bolton. Couple stutter step moves. Mason Barney walks in, and he put that just wide. Moving back up the court. Here come the Grand Rapid Grizzlies. 8-2 they lead now, with 8:45 left to go in the second quarter. Adams. And that step through the crease. And got John Belote moving to his left. The ball went to his right, and it's 9-2 now for Grand Rapids. John Belote unable to stay with that play, as there have been a couple of those goals that in tight, the Grizzlies players have been able to outmaneuver the big goaltender for the Rivermen. There's our mystery man, number 12, and a heavy hit down below the goal line. And now the Grizzlies back on it. You can follow me on Instagram at DesmondThomas_voice, and you can let me know who number 12 is on the Fort Wayne Rivermen. That would be greatly appreciated. Here's Kepner, now on the attack for the Rivermen. Trying to provide a screen. Swung back from lane. Now trying to drive the lane. Mason Barney. Pardon me, Nichter in front of the net. And that shot goes off the right pad. And now trying to dive in front of the net. And once again, the ball will ricochet away from the crease. It's on the left wall. Picked up by the Grizzlies. Picked up by Blaine Adams. Now trying to drive in the Grizzlies. Looking for more, looking to get to double digits. And that's a good save from Belote off his right arm. Adams, far side, hot shot. Again, Belote gets in the way, and it rings all the way around the boards and up into the netting. Moved up the far side by the Fort Wayne Rivermen. Oh, nice move to the inside by Gehring, and now Mason Barney controls. Barney on that far side. Plays off to the new man arriving from the bench. Fresh legs, and that shot is whipped on by Bolton. But again, Brett Farrelly, he's right there. Hacking and whacking away, trying to dislodge that ball is Simon Watson. Ryan Whitney, who has a goal in this game, was bowled over. And now back is Keith McGowan. JD Reyes now. All tangled up. Great screen from his teammate. And Reyes has that ball bounce out of the pocket. Picks it back up though and plays it to the line. On the near side, Kepner unable to hold on to that ball. Just trying to whack it loose, and it'll be picked back up by the Grizzlies. Setting up their offense now over the halfway line. Under 5 left in this second quarter. And that shot high in the air, and the rebound looked to be collected by Adams. And now back in transition, here come the Fort Wayne Rivermen. Trey King tries to dish that off to the left, and now he'll get it in front. It bounces around, but the Rivermen unable to hold on to that ball. Bodies flying everywhere, and the Grizzlies back up. It's a breakaway right on Belote. He scores, and he climbs the boards in celebration. Double digits for the Grizzlies, and an 8-point lead. So 5 goals scored in the first quarter for the Grizzlies, and 5 goals scored here in the second. And we're not even close to being done with this first half. Out of the face-off, DeCaro unable to win that back, and it's pulled forward by Hansen. 10-2, the Grand Rapids Grizzlies lead over the Fort Wayne Rivermen. Here's Adams. Pat McKay. That shot is fought off by Belote into the corner now. Hot shot whipped wide by Pat McKay. And it will bounce all the way back to Brett Fairley, who's had not too much to do in the last couple of minutes. But when called upon, has been a brick wall between the pipes for the Grand Rapids Grizzlies. The 5'10" goalie out of Orangeville tested again here, and that shot scores. Snuck past him that time, and now the deficit cut to 7. So 10-3 now. A bit of heart in the game for Fort Wayne, and a bit of hope too, as they're a team not unaccustomed to scoring, but sometimes just not scoring enough and not keeping the ball out of the net enough either. They keep it out that time, and it's moved up by David Kepner. Turned over, blind pass that's easily picked off, and a breakaway down the other end. One-on-one with Belote, and Belote can't get the better of that Grizzly player on that occasion either, and it's 11-3. So that's 6 goals scored now here in this second quarter, and it's been utter domination from the Grand Rapids Grizzlies, I should say. As a loose ball contested here on the near side boards. Picked back up by the Grizzlies. Blaine Adams maneuvering his way out of pressure. And played up top to Hansen. Back to McKay. And played through. High ball in the crease. It floats wide and picked up. Quick on the balls are the Grizzlies. They just seem to be wanting it more and are faster to those 50-50 battles. But now, oh, what a move to the inside. Here's Lane. And he puts that wide. Aiden Lane in on the breakaway, and today the breakaways have been connecting for Fort Wayne, but not on that occasion. For the number 17, Aiden Lane. And it looks like it will be a power play for the Fort Wayne Rivermen, as a Grizzly will sit in the box. First opportunity on the man advantage in this game. And here's Mason Barney now, a chance to try to claw back into it. Mason Barney up at the top. Back from Kepner. And swung to the far side. They score! Power play goal from the Rivermen. Slung past. And that is Eric Peel with his second power play goal of the day and first of this game. So 11-4 now. They make quick work of that power play. And Ryan Whitney having some discussions with the Fort Wayne Rivermen, and I believe all that in good fun, as they saw that time was just about to expire in the first half. At the end of the second quarter, the Grand Rapids Grizzlies lead the Fort Wayne Rivermen by a lopsided score of 11-4. We'll step aside for about 10 minutes. Stay tuned, you're watching the North American Talk Radio YouTube channel.
You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com. Thanks for listening.
BetUS and North American Talk Radio have partnered to bring you the preferred betting platform in the United States, and you will get a deposit bonus of up to 150% if you use promo code 120Z. Take it from me, I'm a cowboy and a gambler. I wrangle my bets on BetUS, and I use the promo code 120Z to get free money. Yee-haw! That's BetUS and promo code 120Z. Now giddy up.
Hi, I'm Jeff from Jeff Beck Health and Wellness. This may look like a dingy basement, but it makes for a great workout space. It stays cool in the summer, it's out of the way of the rest of the house. Great place to work out. You can even have a TV where you're watching Trailer Park Boys. That's what I do. You know, I have my push-up board over here, works out different muscles. I have my weight bench over here. You can't see it in the screen, but I have a throw rug, an old throw rug. I do my crunches. And if you have the means, you have a treadmill. You could put a treadmill down in the basement. But the outdoors provides a great place for walking or running, jogging, whatever you need to do. It doesn't take a lot of equipment, doesn't take a lot of money to get in shape. And, you know, I specialize in health and wellness counseling. If you're having social issues, professional issues, I specialize in nutritional counseling, weight management, please reach out. Any issue you have, I can help. You can access my health portal through our partner at North American Talk Radio, natalkradio.com, natalkradio.us/health, or you'll see health and wellness on the menu. I hope to hear from you soon, and I hope you have a healthy, happy, prosperous day. Please reach out. Jeff Beck, Health and Wellness. Thank you.
You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com. Thanks for listening.
Welcome back inside the PSM Ice House. Desmond Thomas here with you for the start of the second half and the third quarter. You can follow me on Instagram at DesmondThomas_voice. And I've got a question for any Rivermen fans watching. Who is number 12 on the Fort Wayne Rivermen? I would love to know. He's got some amazing handles. He's scored in the game at noon, and we'd love to give him the recognition that he deserves. So if anybody wants to get that info to me, that would be fantastic. So as you can see there, time ticking down, and the intermission between the two halves, 11-4 the spread. The Grand Rapids Grizzlies, a scoring barrage on John Belote, who has been unable to keep the ball out, especially on breakaways, which was the play for the Fort Wayne Rivermen in their opening game of the day against the Dayton Bombers. Scored so many goals one-on-one with the Dayton goalie. And John Belote this time on the receiving end of that style of play. And despite the lack of substitutes on the bench for the Grand Rapids Grizzlies, they've got a big lead in this game over the home side Fort Wayne Rivermen as we start the second half and the third quarter. On the near side, it's picked up by Brian LaRocque, the manager and coach out of Orangeville. The late man arriving. Aaron pass goes off the top of his stick. And picked back up. Here's Alspaugh. Alspaugh plays into the middle. McKay. Low shot that's caught by Belote. And he'll get it going here for the Fort Wayne Rivermen. Going right to left on your screen are the Rivermen in their home darks. J.D. Reyes on the ball here. He'll fire it in lower as it's picked up by Mason Barney. Now hot off the bench is Sullivan. Escaping some pressure, played back to Mason Barney. Has a lane, he's in, fires the shot, scores! Mason Barney connects and tickles the twine for the Rivermen, and it's 11-5. When you're down in a game, you need your big guns to be firing on all cylinders, and Mason Barney, that's his second of this contest. Off the face-off, it's brought forward quickly by Hansen. Trying to scoop that ball off the floor. And trying to respond quickly are the Grizzlies. Turned over though. And the Fort Wayne Rivermen on the attack. Here's Stepanski. Steve Stepanski will dish off. And Mason Barney back on it. They're going to need many more from where that came from, but it was great work from Sullivan as well. Here's Barney. Has Lane on his right. Chris crosses, and Barney still on it in the corner. But the whistle goes, and possession will go to the Grizzlies. Collecting themselves at center, and brought in slowly by Jackson Alspaugh out of Grand Ledge, Michigan. High pass that was looking to be connected with Adam Burton, but that bounces over his stick. It was tangled up by Magnus Salmon, and he's on the ball here. Salmon has scored quite a few goals in this contest, especially early on in the game. And that hot shot is fought off by John Belote. Up the near side now, back on the attack are the Rivermen. Here's our mystery man. Played back to Nichter. And now up top, here's Watson. Watson still on it. Tried that hidden ball trick, but now it's Nichter. Down for Watson, fires a shot. And that was stopped at the near post by Brett Farrelly. The Grizzlies didn't bite on that trick play from the Fort Wayne Rivermen. And now we'll move up slowly. It's been good team offense all game long from the Grizzlies. And that shot goes off the shoulder of Belote and rings around the boards. And it was going to take that team offense, a full team effort, especially when you're outgunned just personnel-wise, as the Grizzlies are against this Fort Wayne team. And it's definitely working out for them here, a 6-goal spread. And it'll be moved back the other way by the Grizzlies. Grizzlies on the ball again. Also no number 17 on my roster for Grand Rapids. He's our second mystery man in the game. There are 3 players listed on the Grand Rapids roster without a number, though. So he may be one of them. Here's J.D. Reyes. He's got a number, 23. And he leaves that off for Bolton. Bolton worked over by Matuzak. And Connor Sullivan now. Back from Kepner. Into the corner. Here's Lane behind the net. Trying to play that in front for Sullivan. He got shoulder to shoulder with a Grand Rapids player and got knocked off the ball. J.D. Reyes picks that up nicely. It's hacked and whacked for his trouble, all tangled up by Salmon. Still on it, though. J.D. Reyes, excellent perseverance from him, and he swings that over to Mason Barney. Barney in the middle now, Peel on his left. Lane on his right, and Lane's on the ball. Lane tries to center that in front, and a whistle will halt play. With 8:54 left to go in the third quarter. I believe the Fort Wayne Rivermen will be going to their second power play of the game. So Mason Barney will start with it. Second opportunity on the man advantage for them. And a chance to try to claw back into this contest. Mason Barney swings it across. Gets it right back up top. Backhand pass. And that shot was whistled wide by Eric Peel. Kept alive by the Rivermen. Back to Peel from Barney. Down low and trying to scoop that under the arm of Brett Farrelly with the Rivermen, but they were unable to do so. And shorthanded, here come the Grizzlies. They'll try to waste as much time as possible on this Rivermen power play and try to maintain control of this game and their 6-goal lead. Blaine Adams doing excellent work at wasting time and tries to fire a low shot on it. Will skip to the corner, and finally it'll be brought back up by this Fort Wayne power play. Mason Barney on it here, waiting for reinforcements to arrive. He plays it across to Eric Peel. Barney up top for Lane. Barney back to Lane. Swung to the far side now. That hot shot scores on the power play. The manager, Kyle Gehring. And it's 11-6 now. So Kyle Gehring gives his team a bit of life in quarter number 3. The Rivermen have scored the only 2 goals of this third quarter. But now a 2-on-1 as the Grizzlies try to change that. And they do sneak that past Belote. And I believe that's Sam Schaefer with the marker. So just as quickly as it looked like momentum may have been shifting in the Fort Wayne favor, as it happened in the first half after Adam Burton was able to tie the game at 1. It's back to a 6-point spread between these two cross-league combatants. Up the far side of the floor. Miller trying to defend and protect his net. And that hot shot scores! Low and off the floor. And I believe that's Schaefer again. Just too hot coming off of that stick. And it's 13-6 now for Grand Rapids. Back to a 7-point lead. Out of the face-off man, Michael DeCaro, he'll take them all. Up against Magnus Salmon, and DeCaro nearly won it for the Rivermen, and he'll get it back after a scramble draw. And heads off after doing his part. He's on the bench. Whitney. Now Jackson Elspaw, the left shot forward out of Grand Ledge, Michigan. Tries to sneak that shot through, gets bowled to the corner for his troubles. And that nearly found Whitney in a high danger scoring area. Sapansky. Oh, nice move to the inside from Whitney, but unable to find the goal there on that occasion. Now trying to walk back in. Oh, what a goal! Jackson Elspaw sneaks that over the right shoulder of John Belote. And it's 14-6 for the Grizzlies. Firmly in control. So as I was saying, the Fort Wayne Rivermen, having scored the only 2 goals of this third quarter, directly afterwards 3 straight from the Grand Rapids Grizzlies. And they'll come back right in, looking for more. Here's Salmon. Unable to get through this line of defense, but lays it off. The late man scores! Whipped that shot through, and Pat McKay has 15 on the board now for the Grizzlies. And we're back to a scoring frenzy for Grand Rapids. Five goals in quarter number 1, 6 goals in quarter number 2, and now 4 goals just about halfway through quarter number 3. And off the face-off, DeCaro can't do his job. And it's pulled forward by the Grizzlies, but that shot will roll around the near side boards. And here's our mystery man trying to collect that. He's 1-on-4, 1-on-5 right now. And out of the corner, he needs some help from his teammates. He's getting cross checks for his trouble, and still on the ball though. Great perseverance from him. On it behind the net, tries to play that in front for Lane. And Fort Wayne back on it. Here's Peel. Our mystery man in front. Lane scores! So Aiden Lane makes it 7 for Fort Wayne. So not completely out of sights yet, but John Belote is going to have to hold the fort for Fort Wayne. Face-offs are going to have to start going in the way of the Rivermen. As Michael DeCaro, his percentage can't be very good in this game. off the draws. And the Grizzlies hunting, looking to get it up to 16. Stepping right in. Oh, what a move by LaRock. And he can't sneak that through as a Grizzly is spilled by the left hash mark. Watson trying to win that back for Fort Wayne up top. Open shot is fought off by Belote. He's got it in his net and plays it up the near side boards. Dish to the middle for Mason Barney. Right there with Peel again. Barney swings that back as Fort Wayne looks to set up their offense. Barney already 2 goals in this afternoon's game. 4 on the day, and that shot is fought off by Brett Fairley down in the butterfly, if you will. Number 12 might be Jackson Cole. Well, we'll go with that for now. Appreciate that from one of our viewers tuning in. We'll go with that. Now the Grizzlies back on it in the attacking half. Here's Salmon trying to drive the lane away from Jason Miller. And Salmon will collect it. Right back here on the near side. Oh, what a move to the inside. Salmon walks in, and that's fought off by Belote. Nice save from him. And Salmon was tangled up there with Casper Turner on the Fort Wayne Rivermen. Still on the attack is Ryan Whitney. Oh, pardon me, that's Brian LaRock, 95, and that shot is whistled past the post. It'll ricochet high and wild to the top of the zone where it's picked up by the Fort Wayne Rivermen, but they can't do anything with that as time expires in quarter number 3. 15-7, the lead for the Grizzlies over the Fort Wayne Rivermen. We'll step aside for about 2 minutes. You're watching BLL action on North American Talk Radio's YouTube channel.
You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com. Thanks for listening.
Welcome back inside the PSM Ice House. Desmond Thomas here with you, and a shout out to one of our viewers, Olivia Reed. Thank you for that tip on number 12, Jackson Cole. We'll give our mystery man a name. He's had some excellent plays all around today in both games. Number 12 on Fort Wayne, and they could use him to perhaps get a couple goals in this quarter number 4 that is upcoming, to try to spur a late game comeback, as it is 15-7, the lead for Grand Rapids over the Fort Wayne Rivermen. The previous meetings in the last 2 seasons have been lopsided affairs. The Grizzlies winning all of them, 23-3 in 2025, 31-2, a loss in 2024 for the Rivermen, and a 28-4 loss for the Rivermen in 2024 as well. This scoreline looking a little bit more respectable. Some sharpshooters on the team for Fort Wayne. Mason Barney, Eric Peel, but they're going to need a lot more than that to spur what could be and has the potential to be a late game comeback. But now a breakaway for the Grizzlies, and that's fought off by Belote, and that's what he needed to do to start this final frame of play. Keep the ball out of the net. And for the Grizzlies, more of the same, please. It's clear that they have the legs to stick with this multitude of available roster players for the Fort Wayne Rivermen. And they're here cycling in transition. What a shot and what a goal. Ripped past John Belote, and it's 16-7. And I believe that might be Sam Schaefer. And if it is, it's, of my count, his third of the game. Off the face-off, Jacob Prins will line up. The two number 9s will go at it. And this time it's picked up by Michael DeCaro. Prins right back after him, and it's knocked forward along the floor and picked up. Nice backhand pass, and now a breakaway. Lane scores! What a play. First a backhand pass, and then Lane on the breakaway, able to slot that past Brett Farrelly, and it's 16-8. And that's Lane's second of the game. The deficit cut in half, but that's a rather generous way of saying an 8-point lead for Grand Rapids. But still a lot of time left in quarter number 4. On the far side, Salmon. He wants the ball, won't get it. Here's Sam Schaefer. Left side now, plays that in front, and that shot scores. Pat McKay, another low shot, a bounce shot against John Belote, and it's 17-7. to 8, rather. I believe they have missed a goal in the building. Off the restart. It's pulled forward. And here come the Rivermen again. Now below the goal line, nice save by Brett Farrelly. And looking to pick up that rebound was Connor Sullivan, but quickly up the floor. Good defense. And now bowling over his player is Simon Watson. Knocking over now the lone mystery man of the game, number 17 on the Grand Rapids Grizzlies. Here's J.D. Reyes for the Rivermen. Kicks it wide. Low pass in front. And that shot bouncing off the floor is fought off by Farrelly. And now quickly up the near side. Salmon again. Salmon lays that off. One-on-one, diving through the crease. What a goal. The assist by Salmon, and then the finish. Another Bobby Orr style goal in front of John Belote, and I believe that's Jackson Alspaugh. And if it is, it's his second of the game, scored in quarter number 3 as well. The 10 points separate these two teams in a comeback. Really seems a lot to ask for now if you're Fort Wayne. Both teams on their second half of a back-to-back. Fort Wayne has had about an hour more rest than the Grizzlies did. But it's not apparent on the scoreboard right now, or on the play on the court, as 50-50 balls like that one are all being won by the Grizzlies. Schaefer lays it off, and that shot is fought off by John Belote. Lane up the near side. Tries to drive in, and he bounces that past the goal. Off the bench is Mason Barney. He'll have to track back and play defense, hacking at his player as he moves up the near side of the box. That's Connor Adams. Now trying to duck under the mark of Kyle Gehring. The Grizzlies in control in the attacking zone. That low pass is defended in front. Goes off of Connor Bolton. And that long shot is Eric Peel was ducking out of the way. Under 9 to go in quarter number 4. Grand Rapids leads by 10 goals over Fort Wayne. Here's Simon Watson. Steps in and has that denied by Brett Farrelly. Picked back up by Mason Barney. He's got a cannon of a shot. Back to Watson. Kicked out wide on the left flank. That shot by Connor Bolton. Unable to find the back of the net. Picked back up by Barney. Quarterbacking this attack. Barney with some pushing and shoving in front of the net. Brent Nichter mixing it up. Simon Watson. Good offensive control from the Rivermen as that ball bounces dangerously in front of the crease. But nothing too dangerously directed toward Brett Farrelly as the Grizzlies hold on and are now able to move the ball up the box. Schaefer. Whitney. Nice move to the inside. Salmon drives in. And that was stopped by John Belote. Kept alive, and that long shot scores. Lost focus. Did the goalie for the Rivermen. And off the boards, it's put in by Schaefer. Or someone with a 9 on their jersey. 3 players on the roster. I was provided no numbers, so that's Connor Frisch, Shea Sparling, and Christian Kohler. I assume are playing in this game, but have no way of knowing. So 19-8. Fourth quarter now, as we're about halfway through it. And Grand Rapids firmly in control in enemy territory. This Box Lacrosse League against North American Box Lacrosse League game as Salmon plays that through. And the Rivermen back on it here. Ran into a brick wall of 3 Grizzlies players, and now moving up is Keith McCowan. With Jackson Cole on it now, number 12 for the Rivermen. Mason Barney with Cole parked in front. That shot is low and caught by Brett Farrelly. And he'll lump that down the court. And that bounces over top of the net, and it's directed back out the other side by John Belote. Directing traffic, Kyle Gehring. Veteran presence on this Fort Wayne team. Moves it across. That far side shot is blocked away, and Gehring has it back now, plays it up top. Behind the back pass from Mason Barney. Connecting with his teammate on the far side. A couple spin around plays, and Barney gets it back, spins around himself, tries to fire that on, and that bounces into the corner. And now the Grizzlies move it back up the other way. Matuzak out of Hoffman Estates, Illinois. McKay. And now on the right side, as McKay parks himself in front of the net, trying to drive the lane are the Grizzlies. As that's Alspaugh, and that shot scores. Alspaugh lays it off, And his teammate finds the back of the net, and it's up to 20 now for Grand Rapids. Under 5 to go in the game. As the Grizzlies look to add on some more. One-timer scores. What a pass across the crease, and nothing Belote could do about that one. Had him moving left to right, but not fast enough, as it's 21. 6 goals scored in quarter number 4 so far. And it's really slipped away from Fort Wayne, who at one point early in the first quarter had a 1-1 tie against the Grand Rapids Grizzlies, but history proving, unless something very drastic changes, to be repeating itself again between these two teams. And on Belote again, and this time it's cast to the corner, picked back up by Jacob Prinz. Back out at center, over the stick of David Kepner. Played to the middle. And that ball finds the far corner of the box. There's J.D. Reyes. 3:15 to go. We'll see if they can get another one here as Kepner moves in. And that shot is stopped by Brett Farrelly as the defense was nowhere to be found from the Grizzlies. J.D. Reyes, spin move, low shot. And that's stopped by Farrelly again. So quickly down to the floor and robs J.D. Reyes. As that quick up pass from Brett Farrelly evades everybody in a white and yellow jersey. And the Rivermen are back on the attack. In saving face mode at the moment. 21-8 the score. And that low diving shot celebrated by the players. No signal from the official. And I believe that was Mason Barney. And it's a goal. So the signal from the official at center, not the one behind the net who was looking at it. Nonetheless, Fort Wayne up to 9. And I believe that was Mason Barney. Off the face-off, Michael DeCaro. Nice win off the draw. Bolton. Gehring. Swings that across. Here's Simon Watson. Nice move by Mason Barney. Lays that off. Thought he could have had a shot there. And Lane turns it over. And the Grizzlies move back up the court. Up the near side. That pass to the middle. A rebound opportunity as well. 2 saves from John Belote. As Magnus Salmon was in. $1:20 to go. And the game, 21-9, the lead for the Grizzlies, and they're in no hurry whatsoever to do anything with this ball. Gehring trying to defend as the Grizzlies move in, and that shot hits the back netting. As we've hit 60 seconds remaining in this one-sided affair. Mason Barney on the ball. We'll see if the Fort Wayne Rivermen can hit double digits in this game. As Simon Watson's on it here. Watson plays it into the middle, and they couldn't find the back of the net there. Now a 2-on-1 rush back the other way. Barney defending on the near side. And that shot from Salmon is stopped, and the rebound stopped again by John Belote, and he'll get the quick up offense going, but it hooked out of his stick. And Jackson Alspaw is on it for the Grand Rapids Grizzlies. And with 12 seconds left on the game clock, they'll just about do it. They'll eat the clock, and with 5 seconds to go, it will be a 21-9 victory for the Grand Rapids Grizzlies over the Fort Wayne Rivermen. So a lopsided score once again, but, and there's always a silver lining, the most goals that Fort Wayne have scored in recent history against the Grizzlies, and the most respectable of scorelines, the fewest goals allowed and the most goals scored against. And for the Grand Rapids Grizzlies, a great way to kick off their season. Not sure what happened in the Dayton game, whether they won that or not, but nonetheless they are in the win column for 2026 as the NABLL season started back in May, but today was their first couple games of the season. And for the Fort Wayne Rivermen, they took a big victory against Dayton about 5 hours ago and now sit at 3-1 in the season standings. They'll play the Grizzlies once more this season away at the Cedar Rock Sportsplex on July 19th at 2 p.m. And the next game for Fort Wayne will be on July 11th. So they're done for June. It will be on July 11th at 6 p.m. against the St. Louis, Missouri Mastodons. Lost both games last season to them, 13-9 and 28-5. And for the Grand Rapids Grizzlies, their next games will be a doubleheader on June 27th, next Saturday. First against Columbus, then against the Dayton Bombers at Cedar Rock Sportsplex in West Michigan. So once again, the final score between the Grizzlies and the Rivermen, 21-9, the victory for the Grizzlies over the Rivermen. So on behalf of everybody here at North American Talk Radio, Michael Carvelis, Jeff Beck, I'm Desmond Thomas, and we'll see you next time.